if I tell you that this news of Pastor Kingsley did not come to me as a shocker, then I must be lying to myself, because I've come to understand that there are certain age we get to in life and we no longer find some certain things interesting. And if this is not the case, there are stools of authority we occupy, and it helps to curtail our excesses. So while I was busy wrapping my head around how a man with so much influence and affluence, with a very busy schedule, could still find time to book an appointment for a tattoo section and sees it as normal. Our people say that when you find an adult dancing in the middle of the market, something he or she has not been doing before, the first thing that comes to mind is everything all right with this person? And then while I was still lost in thought, he uploaded a video where he said he was going to explain to we that are willing to learn on why he took the tattoo. So at that point I said, okay, let me go and listen, because I was thinking he was going to come and explain the health benefit of having a tattoo at 50, or maybe the social benefit or the spiritual benefit. As a man of God, he has seen something that we are not yet to see, or we cannot see, or we might never see, or the financial benefit, which is my area of specialization. And when I tuned in, I could hear the emotions of this man speaking so loud, when he keeps saying wicked, evil, and that he was going to do more. And then when I listened to the explanation, I think the only thing he came up with was scriptural backing to where God had tattoos on his palm and Jesus Christ had tattoos on his lap. And I believe, from my own understanding, these two concepts are not the same. And if they are the same, I don't know if anybody can help my knowledge to help me know who drew that tattoo on God's palm and on Jesus's lap, and how it relates to what we are talking about now. Because I don't know if it's only me. Every time I am having a fair conversation with my mother in the village on things pertaining to life, you would always hear her come with the defense of, but my pastor said, but my pastor said. And so it led me to understand that if this man of God in that small church in the village could have so much influence on these people who are not formally educated, how much more someone with millions of followership, both online and offline. And then just a few days ago, a young guy made a comment around me, and he wasn't right about it. Having a fair knowledge on that topic, I decided to come at it with a scriptural backing. Just when I thought I was already convincing this guy, he came with the defense that, oh, so you try to tell me now, say, you sabi pass my pastor. It leads me now to wonder, does someone as educated and enlightened as Pastor Kingsley not know that people of this generation no longer read the Bible, and they don't attend church because of how long it has existed, but because of who is sitting at the helm of affairs, whether the same person speaks their language spiritually, socially, economically, and otherwise. The only thing I took out of his live section was seeing the man in the phrase man of God amplifying itself. So at this point now, it leads me to bring this to limelight. Like, have you ever wondered why leaders with influence and affluence are held to a different standard? Because a lot of you are still surprised at the outburst. Do you also understand why society expects more from people like Pastor Kingsley, not just in their action, but even in their appearance? Leadership is not only about making decisions, it's about embodying trust. When a leader walks into a room, every details speak, their words, their posture, their image, and yes, even their skin. Now, tattoos may be celebrated as art in many places, but for leaders, they often raise questions. What message does this symbol send? Does it reflect discipline or rebellion? Does it inspire confidence or create doubt? Influential leaders are role models. Their choices ripple through society. A tattoo, though personal, can be interpreted as a public statement. And in cultures where tattoos are linked to defiance or informality, that statement can weaken authority. Now, maybe you should think about it. Would you trust a judge, a president, or a CEO more if their image radiates tradition, stability, and respect, or if it carried markings that some might misinterpret? Perception matters. Leadership is about legacy. It is about how history remembers you. And history is not written only in speeches or policies. It is written in symbols, in impressions, in the way people see you. Tattoos, for many, clash with that image of timeless authority. There are many people in that your congregation that have denied themselves a lot of things they're supposed to do because they feel their man of God, their pastor, does not do it. Only for them to wake up one morning and see their pastor in a tattoo hall. So why are tattoos discouraged for leaders with influence and affluence? Because leadership demands more than personal expression. It demands universal respect. And respect, my friend, is built not only on what leaders say, but on what they silently project. In the end, leaders must ask themselves, do I want to be remembered for my marks on the world or for the marks on my skin? John 3:16. I hope this meets you well, because now this be the problem. Thank you.